Hey everybody, welcome to Comic Book Club. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we got a bunch of number ones for you guys today. We're going to be talking about
number one.
Dark Reign List, XMen
number
number one, Underground number one, and SpiderWoman number one. So let's get right into it. Talk about Dark Reign, The List, XMen 1. This is the third The List one-shot, right?
Yeah. It's hard to make a list when everything is number one. When I make a list,
number
they
one.
have to go down.
Make a list. Number one, make a list. Number one.
Very confusing, Marvel.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to talk about here, and I do want to say spoilers on.
Yeah.
Spoilers on. I don't remember exactly how I said this to you before. I'm sorry, Pete. But here's the deal. I was a huge fan of John Byrne's run on Alpha Flight and Fantastic Four. Loved the issues where they crossed over there. In particular, loved Marina. She was one of my favorite characters. So interesting, so unique. I loved her romance with Namor, and it was heartbreaking, all the things that happened to her in the Avengers comic books. That was one of my favorite ongoing arcs in Marvel comic books throughout the 90s.
Yeah.
And what happens here in this issue, this really is spoilers on, guys, but what happens in this issue is Marina, who is a crazed sea worm creature.
I thought that was the weirdest thing.
Well, that's where she was left.
Yeah.
That's where she left. So it was great in a certain way to see her back, and I was like, oh, great, okay, they're going to figure out some way to get her out of this. There's a heartbreaking couple of panels where Namor is slowly swimming to the sea floor with her down into a cavern.
Mariana Trench.
Yeah, to the Mariana Trench. They flash back to a panel,
Which I thought was really cool that they did that.
Which broke my heart. And then it cuts to Namor has ripped her head off and throws it at Norman Osborn.
He's a real hard ass. I think there's a lesson in it.
What was
We've
that?
all torn off an ex-girlfriend's head. I think that's fair.
I would like to say though the part where he was like,
what are you doing to me?
They're like testing around. They're like, there's a lot of hatred there. And Namor's like, ex-wives. What are you gonna do?
Your heart was torn open and played for like maudlin jokes.
Yeah.
It was awful.
That's ex-wives.
Hey, ex-wives, huh? Hey.
After that great page with him swimming down into the trench, where he tosses her dead head in through the window, right? Yeah. Which, beyond the fact that, like, it's comics, so you can come up with any solution, any crazy solution to figure out a way to get her back. The solution is not to rip her head off and throw it through a window.
He's over.
Namor says to Norman Osborn, he says, if I tore my own wife's head off, think about what I'm going to do to you. And Norman's like, yeah, I will think about that. And Namor's like, yeah, you do think about that.
Well, I will see you later. I will see you later.
I feel like
this is out of the window. And I was like, what are you, again? I know you can't kill Norman Osborn, but at the point that you had Namor tear his own wife's head off, he is clearly going to.
I think this is a personal attack. Matt Fraction onto you, like really, yeah.
Oh god. Someone,
but
for
me, I thought this was a fun issue. I mean, I'm a sucker for ex-wife jokes.
What are you doing to my heart, Matt Fraction?
And anytime you
first you had Tony do that speech in Iron Man where he's doing the Flowers for Algernon thing, being like, I am very good, Maria Hill. Yeah. That totally killed me and made me cry. And then this that rips my heart out. I'm going to come to Portland or wherever it is you just moved to, and I am going to shake your hand, and then I'm going to throw my wife's head through your window.
Wow. You should be like, if you think I did this to my own heart, think what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
And then slowly fly away with your wing.
Just real quickly, hang on. I like the ex-wife jokes, and then anytime you throw Wolverine.
Yeah, real big win. I don't know. I think it's so weird how much Namor is appearing in X-Men comics.
I think it's great. I love it.
I mean, I like him being there, but it just seems like, why is the focus pulling? Oh, sorry.
Yes,
I didn't get. You got your heart rant. I was just reviewing comics.
Yeah.
My bad.
Good point.
Hey, John Byrne Alpha Flight fans, I'm sure you've enjoyed that.
First 12 issues are awesome. Pick it up.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I gotta say,
thank you.
Some things are more important than reviewing, and those some things are the human heart.
Oh, come on, move on already.
Yeah.
There is no moving on from the human heart. Underground, #1. This is a series by Jeff Parker and Steve Lieber. Wow, it's
real.
So you had real.
We're a big fan of Jeff Parker, like a lot of his stuff. Certainly his mini-series, Mysterious the Unfathomable, was one of my favorite of the past year. What do you guys think of this series?
We're very Will Eisner-esque is the feeling I had. Kind of the non-spirit Will Eisner, where it's even down to the lettering specifically really brought that out for me.
I just like the fact that it's a cool, different world that we're exploring here. It's completely off the map of superheroes and stuff like that, and
it's a world where spelunking.
It's a little bit. Would you say it's fair? We're going to see where this develops to, but right now it's a political thriller set in the world of national parks.
Wow, that's a bit of exaggeration.
I just like it because it's a nice, different thing in the stack of books to read.
I think
and the writing is really well done.
Yeah.
And the art is good.
I think it's going to play out as a relationship story with a little bit of politics and a little bit of spelunking.
Yeah,
in there. You love the relationship.
But I agree, it's cool. And this is a totally silly personal thing, but when I was on vacation a couple of weeks ago, I went to the largest cave in Virginia, which the tour was like
what
an hour and a half.
What a vacation! you know how to party. This guy.
It was nuts. I got a little attitude wine, had a little fun.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. They're talking about a lot of cave stuff in here. And there's a lot of actually really interesting information.
Yeah.
About caves.
This is
Do we
well
review comics on the show?
You guys ever played so
there are some things that are more important than reviews.
Caves and hearts. The heart is sort of a cave when you think about it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Would you say pick this up?
Yes. Good first issue. Pick it up offbeat.
There you go. Underground #1 from Image. Definitely pick it up. The mini series of the year, so says Comic Book.
Alright, don't get
that's that.
Let's move on, guys. SpiderWoman Motion Comics #1, now in less motion-y form. What did you think about this?
It was so still. That's what I don't understand. It was
what I really thought was interesting is I read it online. I didn't like it as much, but reading it in
When you say you read it online, you mean you watched it online?
Thank you.
I just
in comic book form, I thought it was a better, more compelling story. I love the layouts. I really got into it more. Maybe it's just because I'm kind of old-fashioned like that, but I really enjoyed it, and the art was amazing, and I thought it worked better in comic book form.
I agree. I think, in particular, my biggest problem with the motion comic, which I didn't totally hate, there were certain things that I very, very much liked about it, was the actress's delivery of the voices was a little weird and didn't quite capture Bendis' dialogue. And I think
Catherine Zeta-Jones is slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that unrelated to what we're talking about?
No,
Is that a non-sequitur?
So she, what do you guys think of Entrapment?
I mean, great. Also,
I like
all
the
of her
butt
commercial work, her T-Mobile work, I think has been
Yeah,
really
you know who
strong.
also has been slipping is Sylvester Stallone.
Certainly.
I think so. He hasn't been good since Cliffhanger.
I mean, I don't know. His writing hasn't really been there since
which-
Rocky. I
Right,
think
well,
his writing.
Cliffhanger, which is kind of
Rocky
like
Balboa
underground.
is good.
Oh, certainly, you're
Yeah,
right.
it is. And it
It's
deals
like
with the
reverse.
human heart.
Because Cliffhanger's like in mountains, and this is like in caves.
Yeah, it's like
It's
Cliff Hunger. Not quite.
No, not there.
Hey,
What
what
did
you
you
guys
think
think of
about
this
this
comic?
I like this a lot. I love Alex Maleev's art. I'm interested to see where it goes. It puts her in a very specific place. Another
is cool.
Skrull hunter, and I like that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's a great
what's
issue.
going to be
I would
new
say
about
it's
it.
actually probably more worth it at $4 to buy the comic than it was at $2 to buy the episode.
I also enjoy the fact sometimes in comics, like, they make the main character dumb to move like a plot along, but I really enjoyed the fact that
We do that a lot on this show.
No, we make it dumb to stop the plot as much as possible.
I totally interrupted you, and I apologize from the bottom of my attitude.
There you go. If you have a question for us, you can write us at comicbookclub@gmail.com.
Height of the Intelligence is what I enjoyed about this comic, and I look forward to more of the same.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Twitter.com/comicbooklive, popcultureshock.com/comicbookclub, a new web address. iTunes Comic Book Club Live, where you can download these very episodes. And Pete.
New York City, Tuesdays, 8 o'clock. We love to see our live show. We give away $25 free every show.
All I'm saying is that time, Pete, that I ripped off your head and threw it through Justin's window, and then I was like, you thought I'd do that to Pete? I'm not going to do it to you.
I was really,
I like
I was really scared and
I like it a
flattered.
lot.
I mean, yeah.
It's awkward. You know, you could just get him flowers. You don't have to rip off my head.
He knows that on Valentine's Day I want a friend's head thrown through my window.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, man. I gotta get a lot of heads.